Well, I love the week after the big Fed meeting where the Fed makes a major decision because all the presidents come out and
the admirals come out.
All of the little soldiers come out and defend the Fed policy or push against it. Here's James Bullard. He's the president of the St. Louis Federal Reserve Bank, writing in the Financial Times. I thought that was a little unusual. Patience is needed for the Fed's dual mandate. He says, look, face up to the fact that the U.S. growth rate is probably at about the potential growth rate, given the situation, of course, the depth of the recession, not far below, as critics have suggested. He says the Fed's recent adoption of a flexible form of QE should enable it to continue to pursue this approach through management of its balance sheet as new information on the economy arrives. Basically, it's a strong defense of the Fed's dual mandate and of the Fed's open-ended QE policy, saying you have to step back. He looks actually at the economic models to show that the length of this recession and the depth is going to be prolonged.
I like that phrase, flexible form of QE. It's a very modest way of putting it.
It's the open-ended.
Or QE Unlimited, sure. Or QE Infinity, as others have suggested. Well, my morning must-read is an appeal by the former head of General Motors to Washington, D.C., Ed Whitaker, who was named CEO of GM after the federal government bailout for less than a year, writes in the Wall Street Journal that GM answers to a lot of constituencies, stockholders, unions, Wall Street, and competitors. Adding TARP to the mix for even another few quarters is not fair to GM or to the 1 million people it employs. Now, like the big banks like Bank of America, Citigroup, who also got bailed out, GM wants to be freed of government oversight. The Wall Street Journal reported earlier that GM wants to be able to do what it needs to do with paying officials, paying executives. They are right now being restrained from fewer perks. They can't use a corporate jet, for instance. And of course, there's the stigma of being a government bailed out company that still has that government oversight.